So we get set here at 125 to start off as we expected. Liljedahl just so fierce with his approach, both in neutral position right now, but you can expect Liljedahl to shoot in this first period. Picked up his first pin of the season last night at Rec Hall versus Indiana's number 11, Jacob Moran, and he got that in the second period.
And that's one of the biggest storylines, James, I'm seeing coming to this one. Again, this match was scheduled to be Sunday at noon, but of course, as you know, the crazy snowstorm and ice that's all headed to the Mid-Atlantic later this weekend, that moves us up over close to 24 hours ahead for a 5 p.m. start on Saturday, meaning Penn State goes back-to-back hosting Indiana last night and now traveling to Maryland.
And you see the wrist control and the leg sweep from Liljedahl, but no takedown awarded yet. Obviously now he will get his takedown, Luke Liljedahl. And now we see that riding time ticking on in Penn State's favor. Almost a quarter of a minute posted for Liljedahl. And for Abram Klein, he lost in his only Big Ten duel, but that one was at 133 versus Wisconsin, number 13, Zan Fugit. And so he hasn't wrestled at 125 in a Big Ten duel yet this season until tonight.
Hey, we're talking with head coach Alex Clemson, seeing about what he's looking for out of his 125s, whether it's here with Abram Klein or Preston Sanchez, who said got a little bit banged up at Bloomington last weekend. So it's no Sanchez this weekend, maybe next weekend for Clemson and company. But he was saying, simply put, he hasn't seen enough out of his 125s. Again, the tone setter starting almost every match as they do on this Saturday evening.
And it is one of the most competitive weight classes they have in the sport, as both these wrestlers went outside the circle and so headed back to the center of the mat. And Liljedahl just tacking on riding time. Hasn't gotten to a minute yet for it to become substantial, but we're also still in the first period of this one. I think Liljedahl's thinking, I got a pin last night, Ryan, maybe back-to-back tonight. Why not?
And one of the biggest things, too, with this back-to-back, James, is that 7 of the 10 Penn State wrestlers, they didn't go to all 3 periods. Whether it was tech fall wins or pin wins, they ended these matches quickly. I would expect Penn State to be one of the most well-rested teams that you could see going on a back-to-back second night.
Yeah, 22 hours from the start of last night to tonight at 5 p.m., and so we see Abram Klein posted with his one escape point he got after getting out of Liljedahl's grip. And so Liljedahl does have a minute of riding time right now, a little bit more than that. But Klein, strong defense there, able to evade the takedown of Liljedahl. Klein's doing pretty strong performance so far for him, 11-8 on the season, 1-4 in duels. He was the 2025 Redshirt of the Year last year.
Yep.
So now they're going to try and work back to center. And touch the hardwood outside the mat, so they're headed back to the center.
Yeah, this is a lot of sprawling, a lot of defensive wrestling for the redshirt freshman Abram Klein. But if you're Coach Clemson, you got to love how this first period is going right now against the top 125 in the country.
Yeah, just to get out of the first period versus Luke Liljedahl is an accomplishment, especially for Klein, who hasn't had the most success this year. And it's his first Big Ten duel at 125, like we mentioned. So that's the end of the first period of this first bout in College Park, Maryland.
You see the one takedown here from Liljedahl, a guy who has played so defensively too and has only given up one takedown this season in dual match formats. You can see the aggressiveness, and that's 1 through 10 so far in this lineup for Penn State's Cale Sanderson.
Klein didn't make it easy, though, Ryan, in that first period. And so let's see in this second period. This is the period last night that Liljedahl got his first pin of the season. See if he can get that in similar fashion tonight. Here he is. Just got the hooks in everywhere of Klein. He's trying to turn him over from ground to see if he can get back points or maybe even a submission here. See him trying to roll the legs. Klein putting up a fight, and it's not stalling at all because you can see Klein trying to get his grips out, but Liljedahl is in full control right now.
Klein just looking to build the base as the riding time continues increasing for Liljedahl.
Going to put these wrestlers back in the center now. Hasn't seen any progress there. So Klein gets away. Liljedahl more so lets him get away, but already back at it with the grips is Liljedahl. Working up top. trying to shoot on Klein, one of the fastest wrestlers in the freestyle sport. A shot from Klein there, but he gets back to his feet, and he's able to separate from Liljedahl. Klein, a calculated shot there. So the first stalling call there, a warning, and now it's going to be awarded a point there for Liljedahl. And a shot from Liljedahl just outside the circle. Leads Klein back to the mat and outside the circle as he gets his second takedown.
Oh, we were saying how defensive Klein was wrestling, trying to feel things out and limit the shot opportunities for Liljedahl. Gets called for the stalling there, and then right when that happens, it's Liljedahl who attacks for his second takedown.
We see a leg hook attempt there from Liljedahl. Now these wrestlers back in neutral. Another shot from Liljedahl, but Klein able to evade. Let's see if he can get, as Liljedahl drives Klein back to the mat. Another takedown, his third tonight.
Liljedahl so quick and calculated with his second shot attempt after Klein defends the first one nicely.
So getting the grips in and looking for back points here. Maybe a pin for Liljedahl. The edge of the second period, the buzzer happens as Liljedahl was getting close, and Klein was in pretty scary state there, Ryan.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it here. It starts the third takedown for Luke Liljedahl. First the defense from Klein, and then the second effort hits home for Liljedahl. Then for a moment, it looked like Liljedahl had Klein in position. Maryland's Klein just saved by the bell for the second period.
And at the back half of that replay, we saw Liljedahl almost getting control and get some back points there, but the buzzer helped Klein, and now they're back to their feet. Escape point for Klein. To keep this out of bonus point territory would be huge, at least to start things off, and for Klein's confidence, a guy that hasn't gotten his first Big Ten win yet. And just some wrist wrestling up top. So Liljedahl has only given up one takedown this season in duels, third on team in total takedowns. He has been absolutely dominant. No takedown awarded yet, and now he gets it. Liljedahl doing everything he can to make sure Klein doesn't get any control of this match, as now this has been really a battle of the borders on the outside of this circle the whole time, Ryan. A lot of these takedowns are happening in the outskirts. I think it's Liljedahl sort of controlling him and putting him where he wants.
And I also think that's a product of, again, the defensive wrestling from Abram Klein, trying to work the outside of the circle, get some of the whistles to bring them back in. But it's been Liljedahl who's had some of his best takedowns and best two-handed shots coming from the outside of the circle.
Things getting chippy here. Another stall call against Abram Klein, this one. Again, his second. Not in control right now. 11-point lead for Liljedahl. And with things staying where they are, you see that riding time secured for this Penn State 125 bout. So that will make this one a 12-point win for Liljedahl, but I think he wants at least the tech fall. 30 seconds remaining in this one. As he's going for another takedown is Liljedahl. No control yet. Klein able to keep that left leg away from him. Still no control, and that'll be the three he needs.
Yeah, add on the riding time, that would be a tech fall for Luke Liljedahl.
Not going to count it yet to see if Klein can get anything in these last couple of seconds, but you are exactly right, Ryan, as they will head back to the center circle again. So if you're Abram Klein, an escape would help you here a good bit. If you can get out within the 14 seconds, that's the difference between a tech fall and a major.
Yep.
A 1-point difference, so Klein's going to try and do everything he can. Liljedahl wrestles him back to the mat. A sprawl from Klein. Can he get out of Liljedahl's grips? 5 seconds left in this bout, and it doesn't look like Klein's going to be able to get back to his feet. Liljedahl leads Klein all the way to the finish line and finishes off with the tech fall. 5-0 start for Penn State here in College Park for this Big Ten duel.
He ends up putting the first 4 points on the board for Penn State.
And we are already set at 133. That's what I love about wrestling, Ryan. We are back at it. This one is number 4 in the country, Marcus Blaze from Perrysburg, Ohio, the freshman who has been insurmountable so far this season. 14-0 start. And Braxton Brown, number 16 from Allen, Texas, a redshirt senior for this Maryland squad. Hasn't had the best season this year, but last year was absolutely electric. A win tonight would put Braxton, definitely shuffle him up in that ranking board, that's for sure. As both these guys up top. Brown 12-4 on the season, still not insanely, not his worst. 2-1 in the Big Ten, and hasn't had the best season versus ranked opponents, but like I said, Ryan, beating a guy, Marcus Blaze, arguably could be number 1 in the nation at 133, but definitely have people talking about him.
And Maryland head coach Alex Clemson was talking about us and saying Brown's a guy that needs to be talked about. And this 133 class is so deep and there's so much parity because of these two wrestlers we see on the mat right now. Marcus Blaze, one of the best freshmen in the country, who's gotten it down to a top 5 ranking. And Braxton Brown, who's been in that conversation for top 5, as you mentioned, hasn't had the season against ranked opponents that he'd want, going just 1-3 so far.
24-6 last year for Brown, 18-1 in duels. And in the Big Ten, that's 7-1. Brown really didn't have struggles. One of the 2 Terps last year to win versus Penn State. In that match recap, they didn't throw their main 33 out there, but Brown said, whoever you put out here in this circle, I'm going to take down, and that's what he did.
There's Kaisan Garcia at 133 from Penn State, who lost to Braxton Brown 9-1. Gotta wonder if that gives Braxton a little bit of confidence into this one. Again, someone who's turned into a real leader so far. The Allen, Texas native, who's now competing for his redshirt senior season.
And here it is. We're looking at both these guys go up top. Looks like Blaze is in control. Blaze has the hook, but Brown able to prevent a possible takedown. Blaze gets the first takedown, burning Brown and bringing him to the mat. 3-0 start for the Nittany Lion at 33. Braxton looking to get out of this grip before it becomes substantial. Was doing everything he could, Ryan, it appeared, to get away from that takedown, but last night, Blaze had a takedown 10 seconds into the match versus Indiana's Blaine Frazier. He had 3 in the first 3 minutes. So far for Brown, he's at least doing good and not allowing him to get 3 takedowns, but that first he could not avoid. As that'll cap off the first period here in the 33 weight pound.
Yeah, but Blaze is as polished and as mature as you take a look at the tail of the tape right now as a freshman come. You see the resume that Blaze has. It's really hard to understand that it's the word freshman under that last name right there for Blaze. So he's been someone who's been in the lineup, making his 11th of 11 starts so far for Penn State. And 14-0 on the season, with 12 of his 14 wins coming with bonus points.
And for Blaze, leading his squad in wins and tech falls, as well as takedowns and takedown differential too. 38 times he's taken down opponents and only given up 1. So Braxton Brown has his work cut out for him as he gets, you see Blaze gets the escape point there to start this second period off. Brown battling from behind, but these guys are up top. You see the length of the torso of Blaze just keeping Braxton out of arm's reach, just able to stay so far away. His legs are so far back. If Brown tries a shot, it could not end in his favor. Blaze, a little hesitation. Brown gets in the grips of Blaze.
And this is what Clemson was talking about with Braxton Brown, wanting to see him do more wrestling moves, take more shots as he goes for the single leg there.
And he tries it there, and you just see the speed of Blaze, able to evade Brown's takedown and get one of his own. We talked about it. Only one of his wins was from a decision of Drake Ayala. Ayala at Iowa City, January 16th.
And that's no slouch to face as a wrestler, especially for a freshman. For Blaze to pick up a win like that against Ayala, a guy who's been a multi-time All-American, was part of a dominant Penn State win over number 4 Iowa.
And don't count Blaze off from a win by fall. He's got 2 overranked opponents this year, and he's trying to do that again over Brown. Brown able to send Blaze to the mat. You see the leg of Braxton Brown. Both of them have each other's legs fully out. And it looks like at the buzzer, Blaze gets control, but the referee is saying that it was right after. Let's take another look.
A potentially dangerous call as Blaze just gets all the way around. There's the takedown that he gets on Brown. We'll go on bottom looking for an escape to start the third period.
This is an exciting third period of action. Obviously, the scoreboard doesn't say that right now, but Braxton Brown, you got to believe he's going to try and do everything he can to get off this mat.
See the scoreboard corrected to the 5 points awarded as well for the tech fall that we saw at 125 by Luke Lillidahl in Penn State.
So Brown has just over a minute and 3/4. He gets the escape point there, and now Brown working from behind, obviously. Going to need 2 takedowns. All right, takedown and some near fall to get back into this one.
This is where you want to see the experience for Braxton Brown. Redshirt senior, kind of prevail a little bit and see where he can use that against Blaze, who's just so powerful, again, as a freshman.
Blaze trying to go for another takedown, and he will get awarded that one. Blaze battles Brown all the way to the outskirts of the circle. Gets the takedown there before the referee sends him back to the middle. This is Blaze's first time wrestling here in College Park. Obviously a freshman, looking for his first win on that Maryland M. And would be a big one over Braxton Brown. It's a guy in Braxton Brown who's has experience, a 3-time NCAA qualifier and 5th at the 2025 Big Tens. He's been an NCAA qualifier in his last 3 years. Going to try and do the same this year, battling from behind. A stall call there against Braxton Brown.
Clemson really highlighting Brown's athleticism to take shots like that. And we've seen it in the last 2 wins for Brown over Purdue's Blake Borman and Indiana's Jackson Blum.
Braxton Brown going to have to shoot with just about 30 seconds left in this one. It's in bonus point territory now. It'd be a major. And almost that riding time secured too. Braxton Brown would need a takedown and get at within the next 10 seconds for it to be substantial. Brown maybe. Gripping at the shoulders of Blaze. Blaze shoots. Brown gets around. Is it going to be a takedown? Both these guys spinning. Brown looking to get control. 10 seconds left in this one. If Braxton can get to the back of Blaze, it could change this one from bonus point territory to a decision win. Brown's got 2 seconds. And it looks like might have awarded the takedown. That one.
Marcus Blaze gets it at the buzzer. A major decision victory for the freshman. For a guy who comes in as the number 11th ranked 141, really interested to see what Lemus can do. A redshirt sophomore now in Lemus versus Davis, a guy who's actually been thrusted into the starting 10 for Cale Sanderson amidst some injuries at 141.
You talk about those injuries. Braden Davis started wrestling in competition earlier this month, January 4th. He got back into it. Scored a major decision over number 25 Henry Porter of Indiana last night. 24 points was the most on the season for Davis in a bout so far. As he's looking to take Lemus to the mat already, got him up top. Gonna have to try and hook that leg and spin the torso for Davis to be awarded the takedown, but Lemus stays on his feet, gets away here. If you're joining us back here on Big Ten Plus, we're about a minute into the third bout of competition. Both those first bouts ended in bonus point territory, and Nittany Lions wins as the first takedown for Braden Davis. Davis delivers Lemus to the mat there. Gonna look to do that again. Lemus able to spin out of that. It's a lot of Nittany Lion blue, as you see in the crowd here. They travel well. They're filling up this one tonight as Braden Davis shoots again. Not able to get the takedown yet. He's got the right leg of Lemus. Going to turn him around. If he can get himself on Lemus's back, he'll get awarded the takedown. Lemus playing strong defense right now.
It's been a theme so far through the first couple bouts for Maryland. We saw it from Abram Klein at 125, Braxton Brown at 133, trying to at least extend these bouts into the third period. That's what Lemus is doing right now.
So Lemus, so far this season, 12-7 on the season, 0-2 in Big Ten duels. A lot of these Maryland guys haven't been able to get their first wins in Big Ten competition yet. The latter half of the lineup has more of those, including Branson John. Lemus started off this season at 9-2, and ever since just kind of hasn't been able to have that same groove and that same luck. 3-5 since starting 9-2, puts his record at that 12-7 spot. He was ranked as high as number 26 nationally in December. As another shot from Braden Davis. Davis may be looking for a pin here if he can get control, get both those shoulders of Lemus to the mat. Instead, he's going to get the takedown. Lemus leverages that leg of Lemus, and now you see absolute control for Braden Davis. Davis starting to dominate this riding time, but let's see if he can do something with what he has. Trying to flip Lemus. Lemus is going to get called for stalling if he doesn't get some action going.
Yeah, you can see Lemus trying to build up a base against Braden Davis, a guy who's been wrestling competitively and for less than a month since the injury, as you mentioned. And the reason he's in at 141, that second season-ending injury to Aaron Nagao. So 141 is open. It's a big spot for Penn State to fill. This is how Braden Davis is filling it. You see the single leg shot for Davis going against the right leg of Lemus. Tries to snowball out of it, just can't do so. As Davis, so far, have a couple of those takedowns for the 5-point lead.
So Davis, one of the only wrestlers in this starting lineup with an actual loss. He has one loss against number 11, Nasir Bailey of Iowa. Lost 3-2 decision. His only lost bout versus Iowa. The team's only lost bout in Iowa City. That was 32-3 was the final score of that one, and Penn State went into Iowa City and absolutely destroyed.
And we talked a little bit about how Penn State, they don't rebuild, just reload with talent every year amidst this 81 dual match winning streak, the longest in NCAA wrestling history. It's because of classes like this. At 141, what do you do when you finally graduate a guy like Bo Bartlett, who's got a couple of All-Americans credit to his name? Well, you bring in a Braden Davis, who saw exceptional work as a freshman last year, now filling in nicely amidst the graduation of Bartlett and those injuries we talked about.
Davis has celebrated wins at the Big Ten tournament and NCAAs and elsewhere. Obviously, injuries earlier this season have prevented him from getting as many matches as he would have liked. And as for Lemus, gets the escape point there, only down 4. Second period here of our third bout of tonight. As another shot from Davis. Davis dominance here in College Park as he delivers Dario Lemus to the mat once more. Third takedown tonight.
As double leg shot again from Davis. Correction, last year as a sophomore, he was great. Now his junior year, looking even better.
Here we see the leg and the shoulder from Lemus hooked, and now tough position for Lemus to try and, like you said, Ryan, build the base and get up, but now they're battling on the outskirts of the mat again. But you see that left heel of Davis staying in bounds, and he picked it up. And so they're headed back to the center of the circle. But that riding time, 2 minutes, definitely substantial. And
it is, as you get a look at Coach Clemson, Nick Bruschetta, the Maryland coaching staff as well with Ethan Laird, all watching their wrestlers into this one. Again, it's defense, defense, defense so far for Maryland. Can't blame the Terps going up against the unquestioned and unbeaten #1 team in the country in Penn State. But so far, the first 2 bouts, getting to the third period. This one, we'll see if it goes that far.
And Lemus, him and Davis were sprawling back and forth there. That's how most of these bouts have been, right? They don't want to give up that takedown, so they're doing whatever they can to spin it out and maybe get the reversal.
And the result is some takedowns like that for Braden Davis, his 4th. And it's also pretty similar in the reasoning that you're seeing over 2 minutes of riding time in Davis's favor.
And so this second period coming to a close, but now that riding time not secured yet, but a very good place for Davis as he will choose down for the start of the third period of this third bout.
Yeah, I see the third takedown from Davis. Even as Lemus tries to get out, that initial single leg for Davis on the left leg of Lemus puts him in control. And now he'll look for an escape point.
Davis hearing some crowd work from Maryland faithful and just a little smile there as
calling for blood time, I think.
And it looks like they saw that in the Maryland M. Davis pointed it out. I think it might be that of Dario Lemus.
More wrestling moves and try to be an aggressor. Wasn't able to do it there against a freshman, but yeah, you're exactly right. We haven't seen Maryland be the aggressor yet, and this is not necessarily a Maryland-heavy crowd, but the Terp fans here don't have a takedown yet to get excited for.
So see if Dario can do that. Riding time getting closer and closer to becoming secured. About 30 seconds until that may be secured, unless Lemus can get a takedown. Braden Davis in full control as he grips for the single leg of Lemus. Looking to shoot forward. You see the wide spread of Lemus. The takedown for Davis. Dictating the action in this one as he will add more to that riding time, and it's now secured. Won't matter anymore, but he's going to have to try and get some near fall points now because it's only going to be a major decision if things stay where he wants. I think he wants to get a tech fall. Just under a minute remaining.
Yep.
So Braden Davis looking to do the same thing. Turns Lemus on his back. Lemus able to get returned to the mat very swiftly, unable to let Davis dictate all of Lemus's movements. He's flat on the mat. Half a minute left in this one. Stall call against Lemus, and now this one turns into a tech fall.
Yep.
If it stays where it is, Ryan. So Lemus going to have to do something now to fight back. He's got 10 seconds, maybe a shot on Davis.
Gets the escape there.
Lemus maybe with his first shot. 3 seconds left in this one. And that's going to be the rest of it. It's like 1 point awarded there at the end.
And that becomes big. That last point, James, they had the point. That's only the point for riding time. I didn't know if it was a point for something, and then the riding time. That will be a major decision for Braden Davis. This is a really interesting matchup, though, now that we have at 149.
And this is the match of the night, I'd like to say, Ryan. So far, you got Shane Van Ness, the #1 rated wrestler at this 49 weight class, and Carter Young, undefeated so far. We talked to Coach Clemson yesterday. Says he's technically not undefeated because that mid-year transfer loss that he had to take, right? But in accordance with the dual meets and his competition inside that center circle, he's unbeaten.
Never seen his opponent have his hand raised by the official afterwards, right? You can call it unbeaten in that sense. Does take the loss because of the medical red shirt. But just the second time that the red shirt senior and Oklahoma State transfer Carter Young is in front of Maryland fans wearing the Maryland flag on his singlet. This is a special edition for the Terps at 149. One of the premier matchups of the night across the country in collegiate wrestling.
Got Carter Young in that cradle so far. He's going to see if he can turn him on his back. Young with some strong defense. Amazing, able to keep the reach away from Van Ness. And look at Carter Young. Young working to get on top of Van Ness. No takedown awarded yet for Carter Young. But a big one over Van Ness would definitely
got it.
A takedown for Carter Young, Maryland's first of the night.
Yep.
The Oklahoma State transfer on the #1 ranked wrestler in the country. Young looking to get the pin on Van Ness. He's getting near fall points. Near fall points for Young. As Van Ness is able to get back to his feet, Carter Young will not just sit back and take it.
Those are 4 huge near fall points for Carter Young to take a 7-0 lead against Van Ness before the escape point happens. This is huge for Carter Young, still getting acclimated to these Maryland fans and wanting to show them something against the top team in the country.
And if Carter Young can come home with this one, he'll become more of a staple name here in College Park. Ryan, right? This is his last season since transferring from Oklahoma State, like you talked about. Redshirt senior. When we talked to head coach Clemson, he said he's just trying to cap this college career off with something special, and he could get that tonight.
Maryland's got a handful of matches still remaining. Carter Young could be the guy for Maryland wrestling this season. Medical red shirt this year for Jackson Smith. So Carter Young is the Terps' lone top 10 ranked wrestler right now. And this guy's got some juice. You can see it going against number 1 Van Ness at the moment.
Another single leg shot for Young, but Van Ness has gripped the ankle of Young, so no control yet for either wrestler. But how about Carter Young's start at 49?
Coach Clemson's watching the clock, yelling, Carter score, knowing that that first period clock's about to expire right now.
How about that, though? Carter Young showing heart in a room that's empty of them. You see a takedown from Young. He's got the 7-1 lead over the undefeated number 1 ranked wrestler at this 149 weight pound class. Now Van Ness is going to be on bottom, but Carter Young has the opportunity to start getting some riding time.
And this, a match where Penn State comes in winning 81 consecutive matches, the Terps underdogs and then some. One bout like this, and you wrestle like Carter Young is wrestling right now. If he can keep it up, that's a win for the whole night for Maryland.
So Van Ness just stays in so tight. So you hear the Penn State calls, and the first takedown for Van Ness. Vicious work there. A warning for Carter Young for stalling.
So you can see the Penn State fans who made the drive down from State College. They were calling for that stalling warning. Now the takedown for Van Ness.
So Van Ness needs no help putting Carter Young back to the mat. And now he takes the 1-point lead. Now a 2-point lead for Carter Young. Against Carter Young for Van Ness. Carter Young gets the escape. This one's as back and forth as it can go, but Van Ness. Van Ness has the control on Young. Now just putting him to the mat. He looks at the scoreboard and the time left. About half a minute left in this second period. Carter Young started off so strong. Gonna end up out of bounds. Carter Young started this match off with all the energy, and Van Ness just thunderstruck, took it away from him there, Ryan.
Reminded everyone in the building why he's the number 1 ranked wrestler at 49, James. The confidence from Van Ness, a guy who's 12-0 on the season, 9 of those wins by tech fall or pin, and this one is now all in Shane Van Ness's favor.
Van Ness just had to wake up following that bus ride to get down here, but now he's finally in control. 6-point lead heading the end of this second period in our 4th bout of tonight. As 3 seconds left in this one, Carter Young battling from the bottom. That'll end it there. Now they're going to start in neutral position.
Van Ness misses a single leg, then gets the wraparound against Carter Young to earn those 3 points. That's been the biggest difference maker, James. When the first shot doesn't succeed for Penn State, there is no question from the Nittany Lion wrestler about how he's going to make up for it. That's what Shane Van Ness does now to the tune of a 6-point lead.
I think they're trying to say he's stalling, and the referee's going to give it to him, but I think it's just the strength of Van Ness pushing the head down of Carter Young to the mat. It's the head and the neck areas where he tries to get all his control from if he doesn't know where to go. And Van Ness has a 7-point lead over Young. Van Ness vipers in. steals another takedown on Carter Young. It's absolute domination at 149. The story tells itself from Van Ness's season so far, undefeated. Shoots in again on Young and will get the 3 points. An 11-point lead now. Quick turn of events for Carter Young, who's trying to battle in front of Maryland's crowd. He's putting up a strong effort. A lot of these recent points have been escapes for Carter Young. Van Ness has allowed most of those escapes so he can shoot for another takedown after he got his confidence.
24 points, though, for Shane Van Ness, a guy who has got a couple of pins to his name so far this year. That's the most points he's put up in a bout so far this season.
And that just goes to show you the fight and resilience Carter Young is putting up, starting off with that 7-1 lead.
This is premier NCAA wrestling, a reason why the Big Ten's the premier conference in the sport. You gotta love a high-scoring bout like this one at 49. 27 points now for Shane Van Ness.
If he wants that tech fall, he's gonna have to get to 30, essentially, or he's gonna have to get some near fall points. Allowing the escape and then getting the takedown would give him that tech fall. And Van Ness absolutely putting on a display of never give up effort here in College Park, as he needs no help knocking off Carter Young, the number 7 ranked wrestler in the country. Van Ness will remain at the top after that resilient effort and head back to his bench. So you just see Carter Young started off in this one for Maryland in the driver's seat, and Van Ness vipered in and stole it from him. This is a guy in P.J. Duke, won gold medal at U20s and bronze at U23 Worlds. He is one of the premier wrestlers in the country, a household name for wrestling fans. And P.J. Duke gonna look to destroy what's in front of him tonight. It's Makai Neal for Maryland. Shoves away Duke, staying engaged for this first minute of our 5th bout of tonight at the 57 weight-pound class. P.J. Duke, freshman out of Slate Hill, New York. 12-0 on the season so far for Duke. He's second on this team in falls. He was tied for first last night before Mitchell Messenbrink got his 7th of the season versus Indiana. And now Makai Neal on the offensive attack. What a win it would be for the sophomore to give P.J. Duke his first loss of the season. But Duke gets in, nothing yet, and his first takedown for this 157 weight-pound, and now going to try and get that riding time going. At least establish some ground. But for Duke, doesn't really care about the riding time. He's lets Neal get back to his feet. Now going to maybe shoot for another. Duke, one of the premier wrestlers, an escape point for Makai Neal in Maryland. P.J. Duke slides in and gets his second takedown of this one. Last night, Duke got a tech fall over Indiana's Bryce Lowry, a 21-5 W, and that one barely bled into the second period. Kai Neal, an only dual win of the season by forfeit versus Morgan State, just hasn't had that much experience yet for this Maryland squad. He's faced his first ranked opponent last week, number 22, Stoney Buell from Purdue, and lost that one in a tech fall.
Of course, this is a new position in the lineup to be open for Maryland as Duke earns his 3rd takedown. This was a spot that Ethan Miller was consistently ranked for Maryland last season. Miller then transfers from Maryland over to Virginia Tech, opening the spot for Makai Neal. Still trying to find his way in Big Ten duels.
So now you see Duke trying to turn the torso of Makai Neal and get the pin. Duke has him down, has the pin. Duke dominance once more in College Park, but this time P.J. Duke is responsible for the damage. First pin of tonight's action as P.J. Duke puts on a show for what seems to be the Nittany Lions home crowd, but here in College Park this time.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
That the junior from Wisconsin has compiled this year, and all of a sudden you're looking at a 41-0 record across the last 2 seasons for one of the best 165s in the country and the best overall pound-for-pound wrestlers.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Ryan, his only loss was when he was a freshman, and that was in the national championship against David Carr from Iowa State. Watch that match and recap yesterday, and looks like Messenbrink's going to try and get something on A.J. Rodriguez here.
I know, work it around. Here comes the swipes for Mitchell Messenbrink. Comes right after the pin for P.J. Duke. That was before intermission. Messenbrink getting the riding time close to a minute into this first period. First periods that through our first 5 bouts have been pretty back and forth between Maryland and Penn State before the Nittany Lions pull away. Here comes Messenbrink again, working Rodriguez to his back. Great defense, though, from AJ. There'll be 4 near fall points awarded to Mitchell Messenbrink after the whole ordeal is over.
And that was what Messenbrink was trying to work on the shoulders of Rodriguez to see if he can flip him over. Good sprawl out there from A.J. Rodriguez.
Second time in this 165 bout that it's potentially dangerous on A.J. Rodriguez with Messenbrink on top. Again, they'll put it in the middle.
And for Rodriguez, still looking for his first ranked win of the season. Losses to number 13, number 26, number 20 ranked opponents. And his most recent was to number 20, Tyler Lillard of Indiana University.
It's been Rodriguez who's found himself in the lineup since his freshman year. Local product out of Mount Airy in South Carroll High School, who's been just someone who can go in that 165 and 74 here at 65. Swipes come against A.J. Rodriguez again. Messenbrink shaken off, though. It's going to be 3 near fall points awarded to Mitchell Messenbrink. He's up 10-0, the largest opening lead that we've seen so far by a Nittany Lion.
Messenbrink just in full control here as he tries to sprawl there and brings Rodriguez back for some back points.
Again, more back points. The taps come from Mitchell Messenbrink. And a dominant first 3 minutes for the top-ranked 165. He gets 4 more near fall points, and this one's looking quickly like a tech fall win in Penn State's favor.
Mitchell Messenbrink was upset after that first period because he didn't have the tech fall in that first 3 minutes. Got 14-0. You can see him getting near fall swipes there versus Rodriguez. And it feels like an away match for this Maryland crowd.
It does. The Penn State Nittany Lion wrestling fan base, one of the best, if not the best, in collegiate wrestling. And traveling, again, about a 4-hour drive from State College down to College Park. Snowstorm and awful weather coming within the next 24 hours. It doesn't matter at all to these Nittany Lion fans.
It's Rodriguez trying to get in control here.
Mat return as Messenbrink builds up a base. Rodriguez goes with a single leg shot and left. Now for the double.
And Rodriguez close to getting that takedown there. The problem is that was his chance to get it there, Ryan.
And he knew that Messenbrink only needed the escape point. And he did just that yet on the riding time. But a 15-0 technical fall win for Mitchell Messenbrink. Move his record to 15-0 this season. And out of those 15 wins, it's been 13 of them by bonus points.
It's absolute domination now as we see who's up next for this Maryland squad at the 174.
Up to 174, it's Penn State's Levi Haynes versus the Maryland freshman Seth Digby. We just saw the technical fall 15-0 win for Mitchell Messenbrink. He's one of potentially 4 straight top-ranked wrestlers that Cale Sanderson trots out. Messenbrink, the number 1 guy at 165. Now the number 1 guy at 174, it's Levi Haynes.
Haynes, a national champion in 2024, an NCAA runner-up in the last couple of years. Looking to perform well as Seth Digby was started off this season at 184. The absence of Jackson Smith, but after he took a medical red shirt, they had Sapanta Angelias move up to 184 and Digby back to 174.
First takedown, fought for and earned by Levi Haynes. He takes a 3-0 lead. Digby looks to build the base. Messenbrink. Earning some swipes as Digby fights to the outside, nearest to us. 174, a spot that Digby has made his own. Now it's about the freshman out of Lake Bluff, Illinois, getting more confidence and finding his way to be more offensive in bouts. Sounds a bit like a broken record, but that's really what Alex Clemson wants to see out of all his wrestlers 1 through 10. Digby, a guy who was in this wrestling room at 74 with Dominic Solis, a captain out of Laurel, Maryland, for Maryland, and someone who just hasn't had that same health that he's wanted now as a redshirt senior. So Digby's finding his way into the lineup at 74. Messenbrink back to his feet and earns the mat return. Messenbrink looking to put Digby on his back. Levi Haynes, I should say. Excuse me for that.
That Messenbrink match went way too quick, Ryan. You're still in that mindset.
15-0 win for Messenbrink, and from one top-ranked wrestler to another. Levi Haynes, a 3-1 lead over Seth Digby. 2 minutes and change into the first period. Haynes earns another takedown. Senior out of Pennsylvania, staying home with somewhere that he's been so consistent now as a senior. Big Ten champion in each of the last 3 seasons. And in Philadelphia last year, finishing 3rd in NCAAs.
Haynes leads this team in Tech Falls, earned a Tech Fall last night in the 3rd period versus Indiana's Orlando Cruz. Also 3rd on this team in Falls.
Got a pair of takedowns through the first period and opening 3 minutes against Seth Digby. A 6-1 lead for Levi Haynes. As you take a look at the tail of the tape at 174, a 12-0 record for Levi Haynes. He's a guy who's 33-0 so far in Big Ten duels for his career. There's 5-0 Tech Falls as well. Now earns an escape to go up 7-1 against Digby.
Digby had the opportunity there. Giving up that escape was not ideal for him, but now it looks like Haynes is back at it.
Haynes defends the single leg shot from Digby, now has one of his own. No takedown yet for Levi Haynes. That'll change right now. His 3rd takedown. Haynes adds into 2 minutes of riding time. That'll keep going up as he grapples with the left arm of Seth Digby. Digby earns his 2nd escape of the bout at 174. So far, we're 6 bouts in. It's been 6 Nittany Lion wins by bonus points. Single leg shot on the left leg of Seth Digby. And Haynes looks for takedown number 4 and gets it.
Digby trying to hear Clemson's corner, but not a lot going through those ears right now as his head is pinned to the mat. That's the work of Levi Haynes. Looking to, you see him grip the chin there and the back leg, trying to flip him over and turn that into some pin action. 4 wins by fall so far this season. Can see him trying to rotate the shoulders of Digby.
It's been 3 straight Nittany Lion wins by at least a Tech Fall. A Tech Fall for Shane Van Ness at 49, a pin for PJ Duke at 157, and then a 15-0 Tech Fall for Mitchell Messenbrink at 165. Quiet end to the 2nd period, but it's been all Levi Haynes with offense like this.
Yeah, it's pure dominance. No takedowns yet for Digby. Doesn't look like that's going to change. At least with him on bottom so far, going to have to earn that escape point first. Like Levi Haynes let him get away there. Now he's back at it. A takedown and some near fall will give him a tech fall and continue to lead his squad in that category.
I think it's a big takedown right there against a top-ranked wrestler at 174. And Digby's up to 6 points. Guy just getting started in his career, thrust it into the lineup at 174 as a true freshman.
Strong defense here from Digby, denying Haynes another takedown.
Yep. It's a great sequence by the freshman Digby, earning the takedown, and then once Haynes gets the escape, defending a takedown attempt from Levi Haynes.
And that's what Coach Clemson told us he wanted to see is progress from these young starters. Digby was thrown into a spot that was held by Captain Dom Solis, and not much to do there. But he's trying to earn his keep, and a takedown over Haynes is one way to do that.
And Clemson was saying that Digby's a guy who can figure out that the Big Ten, especially in a dual match format, it's going to be a fist fight. And even just as a freshman, he's learned that, and he's taken one for the team as well by burning the red shirt this year, facing top-ranked wrestlers like Levi Haynes, who gets another takedown.
So where it's at, a major decision win would be the case for Haynes. As the leader on this team in tech falls, I think he's going for that here. Expect another shot from Lanes.
Digby looks to defend it in the final 30 seconds of this 174 bout. And it's another takedown. This will go as a tech fall win for Levi Haynes. Fourth win by at least a tech fall in a row now for Penn State. And that's just the top-ranked wrestler in the country doing what the number one 174 would do. Yeah, less than 24 hours ago against the Hoosiers, it was Welsh who picked up a decision win against number 15 Sam Goyen and Indiana. Now going up against unranked Sapantha Angulias, the freshman from Gaithersburg, Maryland, where he was a three-time state runner-up at Bullis. How about the aggression quickly from Angulias, freshman unfazed by Welsh early on.
And Welsh a little bit more experience as a sophomore. He's tied for second on this team in wins with 13, but Angulias looking for a statement win in Maryland is nothing better than this one right here.
Statement points, maybe even two for Angulias, as Welsh goes for the single leg, working on the left leg of Angulias, kicks out the right one, and earns the first takedown.
Angulias, a in-state product out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. 9-5 record on this season, split 1-1 in Big Tens, and 1-1 in duels.
Yeah, Angulias, someone that Clemson said just was behind the eight ball originally. A freshman, James, who expects to redshirt as Angulias did, then get thrusted into a Big Ten dual match setting, especially against the top-ranked wrestler here like Welsh. It can be tough to do, especially for Angulias, who started as a 197 going down to this 184 now.
And got his first collegiate dual win over David Mallon at Wisconsin. A major decision, 13-1 at 184 pounds, and started off this season at 197. When we talked to Coach Clemson, he says he probably feels Angulias is more comfortable at that 197 spot. But when guys, step out, or your best wrestler, Jackson Smith, has to redshirt, then guys have to step up.
It becomes a need for someone to be in this lineup here. We saw last season guys like Branson John, who we'll see next bout at 197. John now a sophomore, looking for guys like Sapantha Angulias at 184. Maybe not as far as development as John was last season, as John came in knowing that he'd have a starting spot. But Angulias all of a sudden has answered the bell here at 184. Doing so against Rocco Welsh. As that first takedown, a 3-1 lead for Welsh. The sophomore goes for the double leg and earns another 3 points. You mentioned the great week that Rocco Welsh had. The Big Ten Wrestler of the Week because of that exciting, close 2-1 tiebreaker win over then number one Angelo Ferrari in that big win for Penn State over Iowa. Follow that up with a Tech Fall win over Northwestern's J.D. Perez. Moves him to 46-5 for his career in that honor in the Premier Collegiate Wrestling Conference. He's the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week.
And that was a big win, too. Unexpected, right? When they're in Iowa City, having to face someone of that caliber, the #1 wrestler in the country. That's what put Welsh into that first spot. And ever since, he hasn't held back at all.
Welsh chooses to go down to begin the second period, where he holds a 6-1 lead over Angelias. And you mentioned that 32-3 win for Penn State at Iowa. That was #1 Penn State at #4 Iowa. And Penn State just really had its way the whole time. And that was the only match, because a 32-3 win for Penn State. Only match in the last 6 matches for Penn State in which the Nittany Lions didn't shut out their opponent. Can you believe that?
Ryan as well with Angelias out there for Maryland. Second most pins against. So I think Rocco Welsh, obviously he might not know that stat. He's just going for it, but definitely potential for the sophomore ranked #1 in the nation at 84 to get some pin swipes.
Had 2 takedowns in the opening 3 minutes of the first period. Now he'll have a 3rd takedown. Add on the escape point that he had to begin period #2. That's 10 points for Rocco Welsh. He's got Angelias on his back. The swipes come for Rocco Welsh. Angelias tries to get out of it. Rocco Welsh keeps him on his back. Going all the way around, and it's a pin for Rocco Welsh. Rocco Welsh keeps it going and adds another pin on a big night for Penn State.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Penn State's Josh Barr going against Maryland's Branson John, coming after the Nittany Lions earn a pin from Rocco Welsh at 184.
So Maryland just trying to not be the next victim of Penn State's tenacious run. 6 of the last 7 duels were shutouts. And Maryland not trying to add to their glamour.
One of the final 2 opportunities for Maryland to earn points. It's here and heavyweight. As you mentioned, the only team in the last 6 dual matches that's scored against Penn State, that was #4 Iowa, who only had those 3 points.
It's called Wrestle City at one point. I think Penn State is going to have to name University Park a new title as the Wrestle Capital of America.
John wrestles defensively for the Terps. Barr looks for another shot in the final minute of the second period, and he gets it there. Barr battles his way for his second pin. That on the escape, and that's where the 7 points have come from. John looks to push off his right palm and get to his feet. Barr won't let that happen, though, in the final 12 seconds of the second period.
And pretty smart from Barr here. If he sits for the rest of these seconds, it'll be close, but could have that 1-minute riding time advantage. Looks like he'll be 1 second short of that riding time as the second period comes to a close. And we see Branson John tries a single leg shot there, gets reversed, and instead Josh Barr will take that takedown from him.
John works on the right hand and gets the escape point. A lot of work up top for Branson John. Someone that head coach Alex Clemson feels is underranked right now at his 13th spot. And now the move after the takedown from Barr gets Branson John to his back for a moment.
I think Josh Barr is just trying stuff right now, Ryan. He hooks the neck of Branson John, just flips him over. It's a near fall there, but Branson John able to get out of that. And then he throws him in a cradle right after that and tries to flip him again. Luckily for Branson John, they ended up outside the circle.
And that's the comfortability and confidence that come when you're the top-ranked, undefeated wrestler at 197. Josh Barr is wrestling like that right now.
Josh Barr is not looking to be the only loser headed home. Back to University Park. Try to beat the snow, right, Ryan?
And this is the second match in 2 days for Penn State, who beat Indiana at home 48-0 last night, as this match gets moved up from Sunday at noon to Saturday at 5 p.m. due to tomorrow's impending snowstorm. Right now, this is not a Penn State team that looks at all like they wrestled less than 24 hours ago at their home gym.
Indiana must have been a warm-up for these Nittany Lions, and the scoreboard tended to show that, right, Ryan?
Turn around for the takedown by Josh Barr.
And now it's Lau John to escape and shoot right back for those legs territory.
Quick escape leads to another quick takedown for Josh Barr. He's up to 19 points.
Branson John looking to show some resilience here and just not give up a tech fall. Another shot here.
At the 16 for Josh Barr. He's got a 12-point advantage, and then give him the tech fall. Barr bests Branson John, does it by tech fall as Penn State just keeps on churning into our final bout of the night.
A complete domination for Barr. What seemed to be in that first period, right? A 3-0 lead for Barr. When they faced Indiana, won by tech fall in the first period. He was really trying to get them home and get the Nittany Lions some sleep before having to head here. And as for Joey Schneck, has not faced a ranked opponent yet this season, so big ups for Schneck tonight.
Well, he's got one here in number 12, Cole Mirasola, the lowest ranked wrestler, 1 through 10 today for Penn State, who has 5 top-ranked wrestlers. All wrestlers, though, today for the Nittany Lions, at least 12th ranked. Mirasola earns that first takedown. Schneck gets the escape, but Mirasola, the reigning Big Ten freshman of the week, looks for his second takedown. Schneck just tries to crawl out of it. Another takedown, 2 in less than 45 seconds for Cole Mirasola.
Cole's twin brother, Connor, on the team here as well with Penn State. Wrestles at 197.
He was on the lineup card. Instead, Cale Anderson goes with his top-ranked wrestler, Josh Barr, and for good reason. Here's a big takedown for Cole Mirasola. You don't see heavyweights fly around like that often, but Cole Mirasola puts Schneck airborne for his third takedown.
And Mirasola, the only wrestler in the starting lineup with more than one loss on this season, but he's trying to turn himself into that top 10 squad, and number 12 right now currently in the nation.
And Mirasola 8-2 in duels so far this season. But he's that Big Ten freshman of the week after a third period escape had him best Iowa's Ben Keister in that Iowa match we keep mentioning.
And went out there touching the hardwood instead of the canvas. Got to stay on the mats, back into the center. Engaged for this first period.
Mirasola, quick and agile for the heavyweight division. Goes up top against Schneck with his Penn State Nittany Lions already solidifying their 82nd consecutive dual match win, just extending the longest streak in NCAA wrestling history.
Schneck looking for the back leg of Mirasola. Mirasola able to evade that and get out of bounds, get himself a better advantage here and neutral.
It's been 3 takedowns for Cole Mirasola. Maryland's Joey Schneck has countered with an escape in each of them.
Like you mentioned, Ryan, Mirasola named Big Ten Freshman of the Week last week after going 2-0 on the weekend. Big win over number 5 Ben Keeter of Iowa with a 3-1 decision just earlier this month on the 16th.
Defense there from Schneck. going up against Mirasola. Big shoes to fill with the graduation of Penn State's Greg Kirkfleet, three-time All-American at this heavyweight class for the Nittany Lions. Quiet end to the period after it's three huge takedowns by Mirasola. He gets Joey Schneck up in the air and down to the mat. Schneck elects to go down. He wants his fourth escape point here. And he'll get it easily. Does Schneck have any offense? Coming after a decision win out over Indiana's Caleb Marzolino in Bloomington 6 days ago. Maryland, much more well-rested than Penn State, who faced that same Hoosier team last night in State College. Couldn't tell so far, though, through 9 bouts and change that we've seen.
This is about as different of a matchup as you can have, too, in terms of size, right? Schneck more of a true heavyweight, and Mirasola.
Great single leg for Mirasola on the left leg of Schneck. He's got his fourth takedown. And that return for Mirasola. He wants to get Schneck on his back. The Penn State crowd gets to his feet as the swipes come for Cole Mirasola. Still down, looking, and he's got the pin to cap off a big night for the Penn State Nittany Lions. An emphatic way to end an emphatic match for Penn State. It's a pin for Cole Mirasola to finalize this one as a 51-0 win for Penn State.
And you can just see him, Mirasola, turn Schneck on his back here. That 51-0 win for Penn State ties their best shutout of the season versus Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois. And so Penn State hasn't lost a beat all of January.